Frank Sanders, former Cardinal, now on the line. So what do you think? Colt McCoy's going. Chances? What do they need to do? What do they need to do? Let's get it right out. What do they need to do to win this game?
Just throw me the damn ball, right, Frank?
Well, come on.
Whatever they did, hey, brother, whatever they did last year, let him do exactly what they did last year. I'm the only guy in the state of Arizona and on the planet that's got a Cliff Kingsbury tattoo because he took those same band of merry men into San Fran and got a goddamn win. And I say the same thing. If they get a win tonight with Cody, I'm probably going to get a pony somewhere tattooed on my butt cheek. I just can't believe it.
I'm just curious, since you went down this road, what is the actual tattoo of Cliff Kingsbury? Is it like a silhouette side of his face? Is it?
Does he have sunglasses on?
Does he got sunglasses on? Is it he got the tight jeans on with the floods?
No socks.
What is it?
Little shadow, morning shadow.
When we get up the show, we're going to post it, but it is K2. It's the K2 tattoo because remember we was all on the K1.
Yeah.
And Tyler what he was doing, so I got the K2 for Cliff Kingsbury, and I saw that with the way he's sitting the K2 right in between the Cardinal bird, and it was well done last year over at THNX Cardinals studio. But guess what? If they win tonight, I might have to get a pony for Colt because this is good. This could be pretty crazy, brother.
Now is that a Shetland pony or is it like a pony from a real horse?
Well, he would beat the 49ers twice, and the tattoo needs to be pretty strong. So he's going to be a thoroughbred without a doubt.
Okay. You should probably get one of James Conner as well, too, who he went off last year in that 31-17 victory. Matter of fact, that's what got him his big money there, Frank.
No, you're absolutely right, man. It was a team effort last year, and guess what? The game plan was simple. It was on point. They had a lot of guys that did not play last year. D-Hops didn't play. Taylor Jones was out. I think JJ was hurt a little bit. And they just came up with a game plan and went over to 49ers, man, and I actually put a whooping on them. It was really surprising. I mean, you guys know that, too. It was very surprising. Kyler being hurt. Colt goes in, gets a win. And he did it. And this is like, back-to-back weekends. And in the following week when he played the Carolina Panthers, it was a different story. But he's the backup quarterback for a reason. But what I do love about it is that he's a veteran, he's professional, and the team and the guys respect and respond to him. You need that out of your backup quarterback. You don't need a guy that the players feel like they have a guessing game. These guys feel like they got a starting quarterback. They just got a different starting quarterback in Colt, and they trust him. So hopefully they can come out with the game plan and be effective as well as efficient as they was last week versus the Rams.
Speaking of response, how about when you watch Hard Knocks last Wednesday, how the defense was responding on the sideline, watching Colt McCoy matriculate down the field? I mean, they were like, damn, he's getting out quick. They were like surprised that he was having so much efficiency on the field. Doesn't that bode well, Frank, for your defense to be a little jacked up watching Colt go down the field?
Oh, absolutely, man. There's something about that trust factor. It's crazy, right? Because when you see that the quarterback's going out there, man, and doing some stuff, moving the ball, giving you time to rest and recover, you realize that he's being effective versus a defense. Again, you're 50-50 with your backup quarterback coming in versus a top team, a top defensive team like the Rams, especially having the number one defensive player and the three-time defensive player in the NFL and Aaron Donald. You think that this is just going to be, you don't know what to expect. And reality that he went out and was able to be effective versus those guys, they were shocked just as well as everyone else that was watching, and you guys were just as well as I was. The Hard Knocks replay is absolutely fabulous to come back and see because then you get a different sense and feel of the attitude, the mentality, and then the response of how the guys feel about the players and their teammates. And when somebody like Colt goes out and gets the job done and he's doing something that they haven't seen all year, like we haven't seen all year, you start to get a little bit more confident. And the guys know 3 and out is all they need to do to get the quarterback the ball back in his hand. And they were successful in doing that versus the Rams.
All right, so you just mentioned 3 and out. They've added another spectacular weapon in Christian McCaffrey. Deebo Samuel's healthy. Kittle is healthy. They are
Ayuk is healthy.
Ayuk is healthy. They're one of the most healthiest teams right now in the NFL. What the hell is the defense going to do to try to stop these guys?
Hold on, Jimmy. The trainer has the flu.
He's got fair enough.
So that's the only one.
A pony?
This is a show, not a comedy, man. Stop that. Look, it only means that the win is going to be that much better, Jimmy B, because there be no excuses. Look, they got all the strength. All their strength is our weaknesses, and we know that. But the idea is that was the same thing last year, and we walked away with a win. It's a neutral site. It's going to be on Monday Night Football. The guys come out ready to play, man, and make the adjustment to the altitude. And Jimmy, honestly, it doesn't matter. You just got to beat your guy. That's all you're going to tell those guys. You do your job by beating that guy. Coach said it last week. Be where you're supposed to be. I'll get the ball to you. Do your job, and I'll do mine. And I think that's all you can ask for these guys. And seize the moment, because this is a national stage. The Cardinals have not fared very well, Rock, on a national stage. And so hopefully this will be a good moment that for the team that they could gel and come together versus another good team in your division that you potentially can win, because you've seen what you've done in the past with the same leadership of Colt McCoy.
All right, you just referenced Mexico City, 7,500 feet high. The Niners went to Colorado Springs and trained. The Cardinals stayed here in the desert. Is that going to be a difference in the game, or don't you see that being a factor?
80% of the fans are San Francisco.
Yes, they are.
You only make this. How do you slide that in at the end, though? Like,
I'm not making this easy for you.
I'm just trying to help. I just helping Jimmy out. That's what I'm here for.
Frank, we're just throwing as many darts at you as we can there, big fella.
Rocky, set the David down. I know you're already. I know your bet set, Rock. It's okay.
Oh, I bet it 2 weeks ago. I bet it 2 weeks. Hey, it's a lot to ask a team defense to outscore the other team to win, and that's what we're asking. We're asking this defense for the Cardinals to get a pick six, get a couple interceptions, get some luck with a fumble. Right? I mean, it's clear that this offense is not working for Arizona.
So let's do this here. This is what we know. If their strength is Kittle and Christian McCaffrey and a new kid that just came back to running back, absolutely fabulous.
Ayuk.
That's their strength. Debo Samuels. That's another strength that they have. But where their weaknesses are is in Garoppolo, and we know that. So what we have to do with Jimmy G is present some packages that will offset him a little bit. Double team guys on downs that he don't think that they're going to be doubled, and call some creative plays that will kind of cause him to think more than just react. And I think that's been the number that Vance Joseph has been able to dial up. So hopefully he can come together with the defense. They do their job very well because they understand that they're gonna make plays. But at the end of the day, you just have to make one more play than them, and to get them off the number. I think that will be the thing for us, all defensive wise. Offensively, we got to be effective again, like we was last week. Find out where the weaknesses are and try to exploit them. Colt has to understand that he's the quarterback in the moment, and he has to seize the day. Manute, you know it. You know what it feels like. The jitters, the nerves, the crowd means nothing. None of that means anything. You got 35 seconds in between that clock to reset, reboot, reload, and react and respond and get your job done. That's it. If they go out and do that, then they got a chance to win and win a good game versus a pretty good team.
Frank, why can this team not take a few shots down the field? Just go max protect. You got Robbie Anderson. You look at Moore. You got D. I mean, just take 3 or 4 shots. I remember back in the day, Jake would take at least 3 shots just to you alone with max protect. Why are we not seeing that with this offense?
That was Jack Daniels.
Oh.
We always
up by
take shots
Jake
at Jack
Plummer.
Daniels.
Yes.
We can always take shots at Jack Daniels.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And there might have been a few by some of those quarterbacks in the Cardinals back in the day.
Bad game there, son, though.
Never hurts, brother. Here's the difference. Here's the difference with our offense right now. We don't have our running game is not strong enough downhill to create the opportunity where you can necessarily have to pull the safeties up to try to stop our running game. They're figuring they can stop our running game with the front 7. Our running game has not been explosive enough to get to the second level in that regards where you have to be concerned, so you bring a safety down, which presents one-on-one on the outside. So that's number one. Number 2, we don't really run play action. So since we don't run play action, there's nothing really there to draw the coverage up, to kind of make these guys. We don't disguise it with trick plays that are like the flea flick or anything like that, because our running game's not as effective. So when you hear people saying they're just going to play the 2 high coverage versus us, get 4 wide on the D line, and then just stop the run on the way to the pass. That's exactly been the game plan for the last 9 to 12 games. And it has not, so it doesn't necessarily present the deep ball. There were some more opportunities where we saw Rondale Moore by himself. And I thought that was one of the first deep balls we can say that was thrown in a long time to a single covered receiver. That might be an option going forward if Hollywood Brown gets back. D-Hops and AJ Green, they're not going to be the burners. I mean, they're between Rondale Moore and Mr. Anderson, those are only two deep ball options we got right now. And so since our running game is not so explosive in the downhill game, defenses do not have to necessarily come up from that standpoint. So that's the only reason why. Is it possible something maybe down the road could happen? We might be able to see that, but it would probably be between 35 and like a 45-yard throw. We won't see the 60 to 65-yard throw that you might see in with some younger quarterbacks with strong arms.
He's Frank Sanders. You can follow him on Twitter at FrankSanders81. He's part of the GoPHNX.com family. As always, you can check him out there with all your Cardinal coverage.